Welcome to episode 4. Now that we've explored the first and second dimensions, it's time to step into the third dimension, where things take on depth, and we can begin to perceive volume. The third dimension is what allows us to experience the world as we know it, adding the crucial element of depth to everything. In the first two dimensions, we had lines and planes, flat, one-dimensional and two-dimensional structures. But the third dimension introduces depth, allowing us to experience volume. It is this depth that transforms simple shapes, like squares and triangles, into three-dimensional objects like cubes and pyramids. To understand how the third dimension is formed, imagine stacking multiple planes on top of each other. Each plane adds a new layer of depth, turning a two-dimensional shape into a fully realized three-dimensional object. This process is what creates everything from the simplest cube to the most complex structures in nature. The third dimension isn't just about physical objects, it also fundamentally alters how we perceive space. The addition of depth makes it possible for us to move through space, to perceive distance, and even understand the concept of volume, a three-dimensional measure of space. Through base zero, we see the third dimension not just as a space of depth, but as a continuous expansion from the first two dimensions. As the planes we've explored stack and interact, they create the reality we live in, governed by numbers 0 to 9. These numbers govern the behavior and structure of space, matter, and energy in ways we are just beginning to understand. Volume is the foundation of physical matter in our universe. Whether we're talking about atoms, molecules, or even entire galaxies, all physical structures are formed in three dimensions. Every molecule, planet, and star is a collection of volumes that have been shaped by the forces of base zero and governed by the interactions of numbers. In the third dimension, energy doesn't just move in a linear fashion, it expands, flows, and interacts within volume. This flow of energy through space shapes everything we experience. Whether it's the gravitational pull between planets or the electromagnetic forces binding atoms together, the third dimension enables the dynamic interaction of forces. The third dimension brings life to the universe. Volume gives structure to everything we observe, allowing for complex systems and infinite possibilities. Base zero's influence continues to define the boundaries and interactions of our universe, creating the reality we experience. In our next episode, we'll explore how the third dimension transitions into the fourth, time, the dimension that completes our understanding of existence. Join us in the next episode, where we explore the fourth dimension, time, and understand how it shapes and interacts with the three-dimensional world we live in.